Hello there and welcome to this tutorial on how to paint a Chaos Chosen with the Mark of Tzeentch. We are starting with a black primed miniature. The paints I use are dark purple, turquoise, blue-green and wolf grey. Now we take out an old brush because we are slapping the entire miniature with dark purple. Also, if you're recording a video or something, make sure you focus your camera. And when the entire miniature is purple, we are going to the next step, where we apply a more or less 50-50 mix of dark purple and turquoise to cover the shadowy areas. And for the parts that are aiming outside, we are only using turquoise. When I'm painting like this, I make sure that I either paint one armor panel after another, or I paint all the parts that make sense. For example, the entire leg. This is a different approach than, for example, in my corn tutorial, where I apply every paint or every color after another. With this technique I can wet blend the paints into each other so that they feel more natural, even though we are sacrificing a bit of the poppiness or the vibrancy of the colors. Poppiness really is an actual word. Interesting. Just looked it up. Here's another good example for the brighter and darker areas, because the kneecap would naturally not be in the same color when the light is coming from above. Only if the miniature is standing on a mirror or something, which would be quite a cool idea for Tzeentch. Somebody please do it, or I will. Try, anyway. As a rule of thumb, we can say, the further we go up, the brighter we get. So in this case, the further we go up, the more blue-green we are adding into the mix. And while I paint the rest of the armor panels, I would like to encourage you to leave a like, press the subscribe button, or maybe check out the links in the video description. But anyway, back to the show. When I'm painting the highlights, I make sure, or at least I try, to aim them all in the same direction. For example, when I look at the miniature from the front, I try to make them look like they are all coming from the left side or from above. And when I look on the back of the miniature, they naturally would come from the other side. So then they are coming all from the right side of the miniature. We are going to highlight the edges with blue-green and a bit of wolf grey in there. This is also the step where you can add some micro scratches if you want to. Now we are going for an even smaller edge highlighting with a 50-50 mix of blue-green and wolf-gray. It seems I had a little too much coffee. If you want to, you can add some very tiny micro scratches here, so it looks that the cuts the armor received are a little bit more deeper. This just adds more variety. And here we are applying the same rules. The further we go up, the brighter we get. But in this case, the further we go up, the more wolf gray we are adding into the blue-green. I'd say on the highest points or the most outward looking points, I have a 70 to 80% wolf gray and just a little bit of blue-green there. On the armor panels that are aiming towards the sky, like here on this leg for example, I'm going to place and paint the highlights a little bit brighter than the rest of the leg, so it looks more natural. And when we are happy with the blue, we are going to paint the trims in gold. The chains in silver, the horns and loincloth of Raka flesh, the book and the wrappings around the stuff in purple, I am using an old brush to feather the book so it has a bit of texture. Shading the horns, loincloth and armor trim with Agrox Earthshade. And the silvers with Darkenough Nightshade. I'm brightening up the skulls and loincloth with a mix of Rakath flesh and Elfic flesh. I'm doing the same with the pages of the book and the horns. And then I'm going to pick out some of the edges and highlight them in pure Elfic Flash. For the leathers, I used dried bark and Montrang brown. I mixed dark purple and Elfic Flash to create a brighter purple for the stuff. Since painting is always a process, I wasn't sure if I wanted to have this part in blue until I saw the rest of the miniature. So now you can see the whole process once again in 30 seconds. Okay, it was 49 seconds. Because I like my gold trims a little bit worn down, I'm going to edge highlight them with Stormfrost Silver. Correcting some mistakes. Here you see me trying if the complementary color I wanted to have in there really does work, or if I wanted to have another color like maybe orange or red in there. My method for this is pretty easy. I need to visualize it. Just load up the brush and hold it beside your miniature. When I knew I wanted it to be green, I took out Dark Angel's Contrast for a foundation. I painted some makeshift or imagined runes or hieroglyphs in there, and of course an arrow. Went up to mood green. And ended on a 50-50 mix on foul and mood green. And this is the final result. I hope you liked this tutorial, and if you did, if it helped you on your journey, please leave a like, leave a comment, give some critique, subscribe to this channel as it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And I see you all in the next one.